Welcome to Tail Talk Grooming Chronicles with Hound Therapy, the podcast where we talk all things pet grooming, daycare, academy, and more. Hosted by Shannon and Tanya of Hound Therapy, serving pet owners across North Texas. We're here to share expert tips, hilarious pet stories, and the inside scoop on keeping your furry friends happy and healthy. Our motto, humanity over vanity. And don't worry, we don't bite. Let's get started. Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
Grooming is hands-on and sometimes things happen. Shannon and Tanya break down what to do when cuts, scrapes, or nicks occur, and how both groomers and pet parents can respond with grace and care. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Sophia Yvette, co-host and producer, back in the studio with Shannon and Tanya, professional groomers at Hound Therapy. Shannon and Tanya, how's it going today?
Great.
Good.
How about you?
Great. Now, today, I know we're tackling a tough one, but this is the kind that builds real trust between groomers and pet parents. So, we know that accidents happen. So, what can you do about it?
Well, I'm going to start with just own your mistakes. So I'm going to talk to, if there are groomers that are listening, it's a little different than if you're, the owner of a pet. But if you're a groomer and you know that mistakes happen, dogs look another way, people come in and ask you a question, another dog walks by while you're grooming a dog, there's 1,000 things that can cause an accident, a scrape or cut, or you didn't realize, I picked up the wrong blade, it's on my clipper. I mean, we're only human and we all have bad days. That said, just own it, own your mistake. Do what you can to, resolve the situation as best as you know how. Hopefully you have some CPR and first aid training if you're in the grooming facility. And a grooming, or at least somebody in your facility that does have first aid knowledge of how to take care of a nick or cut or a scrape. Things happen all the time. Nails get cut too short. That is not usually a big thing, but if it gets cut way back, it can bleed for a considerable amount of time and then stop and then go home and bleed. So as soon as you don't say something about it, I assure you it's going to be a problem at home. Ears get nicked, paw pads. There's just under the arm, right inside the underside flap. I mean, there's just a lot of real common spots that are hard to get on a little dog or a big dog that's wiggly or movie or that's maybe matted or something.
Yeah.
Own it. Be 100% upfront. And I would call the owner as soon as you have the situation under control and say, hey, look, this is what happened. It's my mistake. And or it was a dog. So you don't cast blame, because a mistake is a mistake, right? If you hit another car, nobody intentionally goes out to wreck their vehicle. They're called accidents for a reason. It wasn't intentional. Yeah. Now, if you're cutting your animals on a regular basis, then I suggest getting with somebody to better broaden your holding sensibilities and how to, what blades you should be using, because you should not be cutting them on a regular basis. But if it's few and far between, then obviously go up and be honest. Yeah. Now, as a client, it's a whole different story. Nobody wants to drop their dog off,
And nobody wants the phone call.
Hey, we're calling because we cut your dog. Let me explain to you. So I always start off with, so listen, while we were grooming, this is what happened. It's not a big deal. We have it under control. But, I feel like, hey, this is something that we've been able to stop here. Yeah. Explain to them that if they need to go to the vet, that you'll obviously cover the cost. And, don't wait till Wednesday to call me when I'm open if something happens. Most groomers that are good at their jobs will be able to explain if they think it's a major cut or not a major cut. And I myself have had some major cuts where I'm like, look, this,
this should probably go to the vet.
I thought it was a mat. I cut through it. I got a huge cut on the back of a dog's ear, and I took the dog immediately to the vet, and it needed stitches. I looked at it. I'm a vet tech, so I knew that it would. And I just went ahead and did it. I mean, there's, what vet do you want me to go to at this point is what you ask the client. If you can't get a hold of the client, then hopefully you have the rapport with them that, look, this is what I did. It was the best that I could do with what I had and the information that I was able to get in an emergency, right? You be responsible, act responsible, but as a pet owner, try to be, give your groomer some grace. Again, if it's happening all the time, switch groomers. If it's something that it's clearly a mistake and it's a one-time, they've told you about it, and they're willing to say, hey, look, your dog is bad, it bites, we're going to try our best not to do it. We sign waivers here. So if we get really mad at dogs, or we have dogs that are hard to handle, dogs that are old, that can't stand, like real moley dogs, we try to warn you in advance. We're going to do everything we can not to get any of those. But, you may go home with a lot of quick stop on their nails.
And we've had to first aid care dogs that were hurt previous to our grooming appointment.
Yeah.
There's a dog that comes in with punctures all over her. And
she gets in fights with other dogs.
She gets in fights with her sibling dogs.
And versus going to the vet, a lot of they're here for a grooming appointment. So we'll shave those areas down really close and low so that owner can keep an eye on it. If it looks bigger or infected or red or yellow, then obviously we encourage them to go to the vet. So, having a vet that you work with is also a huge bonus and a plus. Making sure that if you're a first time person, we ask for vet records all the time. We want to make sure animals are vaccinated here, but we also want to know who to call if we have a problem, we can't get a hold of you, right? That they can speak volumes for a really good clientele groomer relationship. And that is a relationship. We both are sharing the same, love and kindness for your pet. So we all want happiness. And I get a lot of angry people in the past that are like, I can't believe you've done that. Everybody cuts my dog there. And if that's the case, then maybe again, be honest. Say maybe your dog is wiggly, or it's movie, or it doesn't like those areas being touched. It's got thin skin. There's 1,000 reasons that it happens. It's got a scab there or a mole there. If you don't tell us about it, we can't avoid it. And then the same for groomer. Be honest. Hey, we didn't see the mole there. We hit it. Yeah. We know now for next time.
Happened to me.
Yeah,
it happens to all of us.
Cuts happen. I've gotten a dew claw off, a whole entire dew claw. And oddly enough, it didn't bleed that much, but I did tell the owner, and the next time she came in, she said, same as last time, but we would like to keep the remaining 3 dew claws. Good. And they were free floating dew claws. So that said, I would have had them removed anyway if at my vet. So it was kind of a win-win, because it really wasn't a bad injury, although it could have been. But it was just a little flap of skin that had a dew claw attached to it. But it was traumatic for all 3 of us, the dog, me, the owner, and the dog, I don't think really felt much, but I felt awful. And then the owner was like, oh my gosh, is he in pain? I'm like, it doesn't seem to be, so it's a conversation, right? And she came back because we were honest about it, and it hasn't happened since. It's got all 3 dew claws. So things that it's just, they're hard. You've got to have first aid knowledge if you're going to be in this. You've got to have a vet on call if you're in this industry. And as an owner, just give your groomers some grace. Dogs are hard to do. It's difficult. This is a difficult job. And
chances are if something happens to your dog in our care, we feel like crap.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. We've already beaten ourselves up, or somebody else has yelled at us. Why would you let that happen?
Yeah.
So it's hard. This job, I can't say it enough. It is difficult. Just because somebody says they're a groomer does not mean they're a good groomer. And this profession, it is very hard to find people who are truly dedicated into doing what's best for your dog. And 90% of us who take that time and the dedication to explain these things to you, we're not doing anything on purpose to intentionally hurt your dogs. That is not our goal. That's not how we keep and maintain business.
No.
So it's an accident, and it happens. We try to handle it as best we can with the most care that we've got. If you're a shop owner or a dog groomer, arm yourself with photos before and after.
And even the clients, that'll
sometimes
help customers too. If something's not swollen and you take a picture of it the next day and it is swollen, that could mean some sort of infection is sitting in.
We've had dogs that have had eye issues that when we've shaved them, they've had open wounds and sores underneath them, and they didn't know it. We've had dogs that had tumors that are bloody and open. And once we got to them and went through it, the owner didn't know and they were able to go to the vet. So that communication is good too. Don't be afraid to mention those.
Yeah.
Wow. Definitely some good life lessons there today, right? We can't always prevent things from happening, but it's about how you move going forward. So
Yeah.
thank you, Shannon and Tanya, for sharing that with us today and navigating this delicate topic with such grace. We will catch you next time on your next episode. Until then, I hope you both have a fantastic rest of your day.
Thank
You
you. You
too.
too.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
That's a wrap for this episode of Tail Talk with Hound Therapy. Ready to book your pet's next groom, daycare stay, or grooming academy tour? Call us at 469-367-0009. That's 469-367-0009 to schedule an appointment. Or visit us online at www.houndtherapy.com. Serving North Texas with expert pet care. Until next time, keep those tails wagging.